Hello and welcome back to Bimbler's Ironman Challenge, where a decidedly average gamer tries to make Albion Online even harder than it really should. Okay, so what have we achieved since the last installment? All in all, things are going well. Slowly, but well. Well, as you can see, this is all the stuff that I've accumulated from doing lots and lots of dungeons since the last episode, and there's not very much there. And the reason for this is, what I've been doing is salvaging all of the items that I feel I'm not going to need soon. So this has enabled me to craft my armour and weapons without needing the resource stations. So that's helped me do that a little bit quicker. So what I'm going to do is head over to my island, and I'll show you what resources I've accumulated by doing this. Right, as you can see on my island, I've got quite a few resources here. All the resources that are above tier 3 I haven't crafted myself. These are all what I have gained through salvaging. And obviously I had quite a bit more because I made this dagger, as you can see. The dagger. The system, this was made, I think this was a drop. But I made my headpiece. That was from a drop. And I made my torch. So I made two of the pieces, so that took some of the resources up. And also, I've used quite a bit of resources. I've now can make a tier 4 fishing rod, which is going to be quite useful because we have to have nutrition for all of our crafting stations. Now this is my guild island, and it's slowly filling up now, which is nice. I've upgraded it to the next tier so that we can have more slots for building on, which is nice. We have now got a tier 4 hunter's lodge, as I touched on earlier. We've been making our own weapons and armor. We have got the tier 4 stonemason. This enabled us obviously to get the stone to build the tier 4 hunter's lodge. We have a tier 4 toolmaker, so we'll be able to make tier 4 tools now, which will eventually enable us to, once we're making them, get tier 5 resources. Now, I touched very quickly on the subject of nutrition, which is quite important because each of these need, as you can see the food level is at 1% for all of them because you have to feed all of these stations. And a reasonably efficient way of doing that before you have your own guild island, before you can grow your own crop, before you have your own personal island, I'm sorry, is by fishing. And what you have to do is you fish for the fish that you would then take to the butchers. You turn them into chopped fish, you then take them to your cook, and you turn them into grilled fish. That is then given to your crafting stations. This is more efficient than just giving them the fish because I think you get double, if my maths is correct, I think you get double the amount of nutrition per fish. So that's quite an important thing to do when you're establishing your island, and that's what I've done. So at the moment I'm pretty happy with the progress with the island. And now I'd like to share with you the moment I made my first tier 4 weapon. And I was really chuffed with this. It's when you're playing in the Ironman mode, every achievement just feels that much bigger because everything's that much more difficult. So I was really pleased, and I was really keen to go out into a dungeon and try out my new tier 4 dagger. And so that's what I did. And this is what happened at the very next dungeon. So I entered a dungeon and I started killing the mobs, and not long behind me this chap entered and he also started killing the mobs, and I thought, you know, this is my dungeon, I got it first, I ain't leaving. So I carried on killing the mobs and worked my way through the first floor with him killing most of the mobs as he's tier 8 battle axe. So yeah, so anyway I go to the next floor in this dungeon and I'm fighting the mobs and I'm half dead, and At this point he's now flagged red and kills me. As you can see, this person has tier 8.3 equipment, and he decides to camp me and kill me again. And at this point I just say, okay mate, I'm going AFK, just you sit there and kill me if you like. And he waits around a couple of minutes, and eventually he does leave. But yeah, it's quite incredible, isn't it? You just you just get this moment where you think, yes, I've got the tier 4 dagger, and then someone comes along with that gear. I mean, even on my main, I've never had one 8.3, and he's every single item is 8.3. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm in a yellow zone, it's all part of the game, I do accept that, that's fair enough. But really, it's a little bit weak to be doing this in 8.3 gear, because you know you're not risking anything. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you that as a matter of interest. This does happen in yellow zones. I haven't had it happen many times, and I've only really had 2 or 3 dungeons where there's been a little bit of an issue over whose dungeon it is, so yeah, it's not been too bad. Now, at this point in the video on each installment, I thought what I'd do is try and give at least 1 or 2 tips on what I think are good ideas when you are trying to do an Ironman, or go over mistakes that I've made so that other people don't make similar mistakes. And what I was thinking is about crafting stations. Now, when you start using them on your guild island, you have to, as I said earlier, you have to give them nutrition, and this can be quite time consuming with you having to fish all the nutrition. So initially, what I think you should do is make sure you craft all of your tier 3 resources back at the starting area. As you can see here, there's one for everything. So you can craft all of this without having to use any of your nutrition that you have got manually yourself. So this is going to save you, I believe, quite a lot of time. It's not far from the main city in all the different areas in the raw zones. So yeah, just take your stuff here, get it all processed, and then take it back to your guild island where you can then use it further. So that one, I believe, will save quite a lot of time. So hopefully that tip will be helpful to you. And that's about it for this installment. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed making it. It's been good fun. If you did enjoy it, please either subscribe or just bung us a like, bung us a thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. And I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.